Hello and welcome to DMG Scale Models. I'm Dan. I'll be your host for this build. This is Revell's Special Edition 32 Ford 5-window Coupe 2-in-1. It is part number 854228. It's a 1/25th scale representation of the 32 Ford 5-window Coupe, which can be built in either the stock or custom versions. I previously built the stock version of this kit, but I had to buy another kit in order to replace the decal that got ruined when I went to remove the masking tape. I entered this build in the 2024 piston-powered Autorama model contest held at the IX Center in Cleveland, Ohio. I walked away with a class award for my efforts. So with the spare kit, I decided to build the custom Highboy version as well. I started by laying out the parts and then separating them for the Highboy build. Next, I washed all the parts in a mild dishwashing solution and set them out to dry. With the parts cleaned and prepped, I used Tamiya's Fine Surface Primer as a base coat for all the parts. I followed the instructions for constructing the custom Highboy engine. I'm not sure what type of engine this is. It does look like an older Hemi engine though. Normally for my engine detailing, I use the Gopher pre-made distributor with boots, but this time I decided to try something different. I used the Detail Master's ignition wire and the distributor from the model kit itself. I drilled out the center of the distributor from the kit and installed 8 of the wires cut to length. I drilled out the spark plug ports, cut the ignition boots to length, and installed them into the valve cover. I mounted the distributor, and then I ran the spark plug wires to each of the spark plug ports. With chrome headers and dual 4-barrel carburetors, this custom engine is ready for installation. For a base coat, I mixed Tamiya's X11 Chrome Silver 1-to-1 with Tamiya's X20A thinner. I used my new Gallery GHAD 39 airbrush with a 35,000th tip to apply the mixture. I started off by applying a light coat to all the body pieces, allowing about 15 minutes before applying the next coats. 3 coats were applied in total. The last coat was the wet coat. I let this cure for 2 days before moving on to my next step. These are the pieces just after painting. I mixed Tamiya X26 Clear Orange 1-to-1 with X20A thinner to apply over the silver base coat. Again, using my Gallery GHAD 39 airbrush, I applied several mist coats over all the body pieces. I allowed 15 minutes dry time between coats, with the last coat producing a candy orange finish. For my first attempt at a candy finish, I think it turned out well. With the paint fully cured, I applied the custom flame decals using Microset and Microsol setting solutions to the body, the hood, and the radiator support. Moving to the chassis, I installed the dual exhaust, frame crossmember, and master cylinder. The rotors fit onto the front suspension spindles by aligning the slot on the rotor with the tabs on the spindle. Here's the front axle with the rotors installed. For the wheel assemblies, I went with the steel wheels and hubcaps. The front tires and rims are thinner than the rears. White wall decals were added to the tires. I put the front tires onto the axle, then installed the axle and shock absorbers to the chassis. The rear rotors have a notch as well to align it to the rear axle, just like the front axle. With the wheels in place, the rear suspension is installed. There is a tab on the frame to align the shocks for installation. For the front suspension, be sure to use part numbers 563 and 564, along with the steering rack for the Highboy. The control arms have a flat spot on it that attaches it to the frame. The control arms attach to the front suspension. The steering assembly slides in between them and attaches to the bottom of the spindles, and the pitman arm mounts to the steering gearbox. The rear trailing arms fit into a notch on the cross member and attach to the rear suspension next to a tab by the shock absorbers to complete the rear suspension assembly. I placed the engine assembly along with the drive shaft into the chassis, aligning the header tubes with the installed exhaust pipes. A very nice fit. The chassis shows a nice level of detail. The fuel tank and cap were added to the upper chassis and complete the chassis assembly. I used Folk Arts Velvet Crush in brown to simulate carpet for the interior. I applied a coat of the tinted adhesive and allowed it to dry 1 hour. Then I applied a second coat, and while the second coat was wet, I took the flocking powder container and squeezed it to dispense the powder. Once I covered the floor, I let the powder set, and once dry, I removed the excess. Looks pretty good. I painted the interior panels, seat, and dashboard a custom cream color, as well as detailed the dash. I assembled the interior by placing the seat and then the side panels. I detailed the steering wheel and placed the dash, steering wheel, and shifter to complete the interior assembly. For the clear coat, I mixed equal parts of Tamiya X22 clear with the X20A thinner and applied it using the gallery airbrush. 2 light coats and 2 wet coats provided protection for the decals and a good sheen. I let the clear cure for 5 days. Then I wet sanded it with 3000 grit, then 4000 grit to remove surface imperfections. To restore the sheen, I used Meguiar's Ultimate Compound and sealed it with their gold class polish. I think it turned out pretty good. Here I've masked off the roof to paint the simulated vinyl top. I painted this the same interior color to match it. I polished the glass with wax to protect it, and I used canopy glue to secure it. To fit the interior into the body, start by pressing in the front of the interior and then pivot it into the back of the body. It should align into position. Now this is a snug fit, so be careful. Then we can install the firewall. The rear inner wheel wells fit into a notch for alignment with the body. Glue secures them in place. Now we can install the body to the chassis. On the bottom of the interior, there are alignment holes to match up with the alignment pins on the chassis to secure the body. Using a few dabs of glue, we can press the body to the chassis for a secure fit. Before placing the radiator, I found it easier to attach the lower hose, then install it so the hose lines up with the engine. Once in place, I put in the support rod for the hood. The upper hose gets installed, as well as the radiator cap last. Here is the hood in place. The support rod holds it into alignment perfectly. The headlight bucket's attached to the top of the shock supports. There is a notch in the headlight to attach it. This will test your patience. A quick setting glue helps. Front bumperettes and fuel tank complete the front end. Bumperettes, tail lights, and license plate complete the rear. And there you have it, the 32 Ford 5-window Highboy Custom Coupe, complete. The guys in the garage give the 32 Ford a final checkup. Tony changed the oil, Dave checked the carbs, and Mike is signing off on the word done. The 32 Ford Highboy Coupe is ready to go.